What would you do if one single notification destroyed every belief you ever held about love? My name is Rachel, and before I begin, please like this video and subscribe. It helps more than you know. The night everything fell apart was a normal Tuesday. No drama, no fighting, no weird energy. Daniel, my husband of 8 years, was sitting on the couch, half asleep, scrolling through his phone while I folded laundry. I remember thinking he looked peaceful. I remember feeling grateful for a boring, quiet moment. Then his phone buzzed. He did not hear it, but I did. And I saw the name flash across the screen. Can I come over tonight? I miss you. My heart stopped, literally. I froze with a towel in my hand. The world went silent. I did not blink. I did not breathe. I just stared at the screen like maybe somehow I had read it wrong. But I had not. It was there, in plain English, from a name I did not recognize. Vanessa. I could not stop staring at the message, like my mind needed time to catch up to reality. I thought I would scream, cry, shake him awake, and throw the phone at him. But I did nothing. I just stood there, the towel slipping from my hand. That was the exact moment something in me broke, and something else in me woke up. I walked into the bathroom, closed the door quietly, and sat on the edge of the tub. My hands were cold. My teeth were shaking. My pulse felt wrong, like it was skipping. I asked myself, how long? How long has my husband been someone else? I went back to the living room after calming myself down just enough to move. I picked up the laundry again. He never noticed anything. That alone told me everything about the man I was married to. The next morning, before he woke up, I went through the phone. I know what people say about privacy, but trust me, when your gut is screaming, privacy becomes a luxury, not a rule. He had deleted almost everything, messages, calls, photos. But he forgot one thing. Her number was saved under a fake name, Leo Roofing Service. At first I laughed. I genuinely laughed. Out of all the lies he could have told, he chose roofing? Then I checked his email. Empty. I checked his gallery. Clean. His social media. No suspicious activity. But I knew he was too smart to leave obvious evidence. So I kept digging. Turns out Daniel had a secret folder hidden on his phone, one that only opens with a separate password. My stomach dropped. I knew that was it. That was where the truth lived. I tried birthdays, anniversaries, favorite numbers. All wrong. Then something clicked. The name Leo Roofing, his father's name was Leo, his father who died when he was a teenager, a name he rarely mentioned. I typed Leo 1996. The folder opened. My blood ran cold. There were messages, videos, screenshots, PDFs, even audio clips. It was not just cheating. It was a second life. A whole second life with this woman. She wrote to him like she owned him. Like I did not exist. And the worst part? He wrote back the same way. You make me feel alive. I cannot stand going back home. She does not get me the way you do. I love you. I sat on the bedroom floor until the sun came up, shaking, scrolling through the destruction of my marriage piece by piece. I had no idea how long it had been going on, but from the timestamps I guessed at least 6 months. 6 months of lies. 6 months of him touching me with hands that touched her. 6 months of pretending. I felt sick. I actually had to run to the bathroom twice. It was too much. But even in that moment of collapse, something sharper started forming in my head. A new thought. A dangerous thought. If he could live a double life, then so could I. The next day I acted normal. I kissed him goodbye, packed his lunch, told him to drive safe. He smiled at me like he was a good man, like nothing was wrong. The second he drove off, I started planning. I did not tell anyone, not my mother, not my best friend, not even my shadow. I knew if I told someone it would leak, and if Daniel even smelled suspicion, he would hide everything deeper. Men like him always start covering tracks the moment they sense danger. I needed him unaware, blind, comfortable. Over the next week, I started gathering everything I needed. Proof, screenshots, backups, audio. Recordings, dates, patterns, maps of where he had been, hotel receipts, credit card statements, everything a lawyer would kill for. And every night, I made sure to give him just enough affection to keep him thinking I was clueless. I hated myself for it. I felt disgusted. But I did it. Because revenge is not about rage. Revenge is about patience. A few days later, I created a fake email address. A simple one. Nothing dramatic. Then I sent Vanessa a message using it. Do you know who Daniel really is? She replied within minutes. Who is this? I am someone he lied to. I think he lied to you too. If you want to hear the truth, meet me at the Crescent Cafe on Friday at 3 p.m. Come alone. I expected her not to show, but she did. And when she walked in, the entire cafe felt colder. She was younger, prettier, softer, the kind of girl who falls for sweet lies without checking the fine print. At first, she looked at me like I was nobody, until I said, I am Daniel's wife. Her whole face collapsed. She swallowed hard and sat down like her legs could no longer hold her. She whispered, He told me you were separated. I nodded. I figured. She shook her head and whispered, He lied to me. That bastard lied to me. I watched her break the same way I had broken days earlier, and to my surprise, it did not bring satisfaction. It brought clarity. Daniel was not just a cheater. He was a manipulator, a liar, a man who used people like tools. And in that cafe, over 2 cups of coffee that went cold, Vanessa told me everything. Every hotel, every message, every promise, every plan he made with her. He had told her he was moving out soon. He had told her I was controlling. He had told her I was cold. He had told her I refused to give him love. I laughed so hard I cried. But here is where the story takes a turn neither of us expected. Vanessa told me something that made my entire body go numb. Rachel, he told me he wants a baby with me. A baby. A baby with another woman while sleeping in my bed every night. I cannot describe the feeling. My ears buzzed. The room tilted. I felt like I was sinking under ice. That was the moment I stopped being heartbroken. That was the moment I became dangerous. That night, Daniel came home acting normal. He kissed my cheek, asked about dinner, told me some boring story about his day like nothing had happened. I stared at him, secretly studying him the way people study animals that might bite. He asked if I was okay. I smiled. I am perfect. Over the next month, I executed every step of my plan slowly, quietly, with the kind of precision I never knew I had. I met with a lawyer, alone. I removed Daniel from our joint accounts quietly. I transferred the house title into my name, legally possible because my mother gifted me her share years ago. Daniel had no idea. I documented every proof of his infidelity and financial betrayal enough to destroy him in court. I made sure to act sweet at home, not too sweet, just enough to seem normal. Daniel never suspected a thing. He was too comfortable, too arrogant, too used to me being gentle. He had no idea the woman, folding his laundry every night, was preparing the funeral for his entire second life. The final phase of my plan came one afternoon when he left his laptop open. Not the work one. The personal one. The one he guarded like a dragon guarding treasure. And he made the biggest mistake of his life. He left it unlocked. Inside, I found everything. A hidden folder labeled plans. Financial documents showing he was secretly saving money for a new apartment. Draft messages telling me he needed space. A checklist for leaving me. Even a draft of a text breaking up with me. He was planning to leave me first. He thought he was going to blindside me. That was the day I decided the timing of my revenge. The day he thought he was leaving me was going to be the day I left him with nothing. That day came sooner than I expected. One Thursday evening, Daniel sat across from me at dinner, tapping his fork nervously. Finally, he said, Rachel, we need to talk. I looked up slowly, calm, almost bored. Sure, what is on your mind? He swallowed, hard. I think we should separate. My heart did not even twitch. I whispered, okay. His eyes went wide. Like he did not expect that answer. Like he expected me to scream or beg. I stood up, walked to the kitchen, grabbed the envelope I had been saving. I handed it to him. He opened it. His entire world collapsed in seconds. Bank statements showing the empty joint account. The house deed in my name. A flash drive full of his cheating evidence. The divorce papers already signed by me. And a restraining order request ready to file. He looked at me like he had never seen me before. Rachel, what is this? I leaned in and whispered, This is what happens when a man thinks his wife is stupid. He begged. He cried. He fell apart right there at our dining table. But I just stepped away. Because there is a moment in every woman's life when pain dies and power takes its place. This was mine. Before I continue, if you are listening to this and your heart is pounding because something in my story feels familiar, do not ignore that feeling. It is your warning. It is your mirror. It is your sign that you are not alone. My name is Emily, and this is what happened after the night my world stopped. I wish I could tell you that after seeing that woman's name pop up on my husband's phone, I made all the right decisions. I wish I could say I walked away clean, strong, and unshaken. But the truth is, trauma makes you cling to the very thing that is destroying you, and I clung to him. For a while, after I confronted Ethan about the messages, he cried. And I do not mean the kind of fake crying where someone rubs their face but no tears come. Out. No, he sobbed. He collapsed on the floor, holding his face in his hands, begging me to hear him out. He said he was confused, lonely, lost. He said it was my fault, that I had become distant, that I had changed. Classic manipulation. But at that moment, those words pierced a part of my heart that was still bleeding from old wounds. I stood there frozen, staring at him while my mind fought itself. One part screamed, "He broke you." Another whispered, "Maybe he is right. Maybe this is your fault." The second voice was louder. For 2 days, we barely spoke. We walked around the house like strangers wearing familiar faces. And somewhere during that silence, a new feeling grew inside me. Not forgiveness, not acceptance. Something darker, something colder, something that felt like power. I had always reacted emotionally. I confronted, cried, begged, fought. Nothing ever changed. This time, I was not going to react. I was going to observe, study, wait. On the third day, I told him I was willing to work on the marriage. His face lit up like a kid getting his favorite candy. He hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. But while he squeezed me, I kept my hands loose around his back, like I was hugging a stranger. I told him I wanted transparency. Phones open. Passwords shared, honesty, therapy, whatever it took. He agreed to everything. Too quickly. That was my first sign that his apology was a performance. I acted like a wife trying to rebuild trust. I smiled when he came home. I cooked his favorite meals. I even sat through therapy sessions pretending I wanted to heal. But deep inside, I was sharpening my mind like a knife. And then something strange happened. One night, while he was asleep, his phone buzzed again. But this time, it was not the same woman. It was a new name. A different woman. And the message was not flirtatious. It was panicked. "Did you tell her anything?" "You promised. You said she would never find out." My heart did not stop this time. It hardened. I scrolled up, and what I read made my skin crawl. It was not just one affair. It was a pattern, a history, a lifestyle. Women from his gym, women from his office, women he met online, women he swore were just friends. And then I saw something that shook me more deeply than the cheating itself. There were conversations about money, gifts, trips, payments. He had been using our joint account to impress these women. Not once, not twice. For years. My stomach twisted. I felt like the floor beneath me was melting. I took screenshots of everything, transferred them to a hidden cloud folder. And then, for the first time in years, I slept peacefully. Because revenge, real revenge, is not loud. It is quiet, patient, strategic. The next morning, I kissed his cheek and made him breakfast like nothing was wrong. I even told him I was proud of the progress he was making. He beamed. He believed me. People like him always believe their lies are stronger than your truth. 2 weeks passed. I played the perfect wife. Meanwhile, I gathered information. Financial records. Bank statements, emails, messages, photos, hotel receipts. Therapy notes showing his guilt. Everything. I needed to build a story no one could deny. Then came the day that changed everything. His mother's birthday. His whole family would be there. His brothers. His cousins. Even his uncle who lived out of state. I knew Ethan cared about one thing more than any woman. More than any secret, his image. He was the golden son. The responsible one. The loyal husband. The man everyone admired. I was about to destroy that image with a smile on my face. When we arrived at his mother's house, the dining room was full, warm, loud, laughter everywhere. Ethan loved moments like this. He thrived on attention. He spent the first 20 minutes telling everyone about his promotion, his fitness routine, his future plans. He talked like a man whose life was perfect. I let him. Then when dessert was served, I stood up, holding my glass. My hands did not shake. My voice did not crack. It was the calmest I had ever sounded. I said, "Before we celebrate, I would like to share something." Ethan froze. He looked at me like I had suddenly spoken a language he did not recognize. I continued. I want to thank this family for always treating me with kindness. And because I respect you, I feel you deserve to know the truth about your son. His mother's smile faded. His brother whispered, "What is happening?" I took out my phone and connected it to the TV. I said, "Years." His brother asked, "How many women?" I said, "Enough to fill this screen for 10 minutes straight." And then I ended with, everything he bought them was with our money, our joint account. My salary, my savings. The room exploded. His mother screamed at him. His brother shoved him. His uncle told him he brought shame to the family. Ethan tried to defend himself. But every lie he attempted crumbled under the evidence flashing behind us. Then he looked at me with rage. Not guilt, rage. He said, "You planned this." "You wanted to humiliate me," I said softly. "No, Ethan, you humiliated yourself." I just turned on the lights. I left the house with my head high, my bag in my hand and my heart strangely calm. I could hear his family yelling as I walked to the car. When I drove off, I saw him running out the door, shouting my name, begging me to wait. I did not. When I reached home, I packed my things. I opened a new bank account. I transferred my remaining savings. I blocked his number. I changed the locks. An hour later, police lights pulled up outside. You might think they were there for me. They were not. They were there for him. His brother had reported the financial fraud. All the money he used from our joint account? Illegal, unauthorized, traceable. They arrested him on his mother's front lawn. He called my phone from the back of the police car. I let it ring. For 3 months, I lived alone, quiet, healing in small pieces. I expected to feel relieved, victorious, strong. Instead, I felt empty, like someone had scooped the inside of my chest out with a dull spoon. One night, I heard a knock at my door. When I opened it, it was the woman whose name I had first seen on the phone. The one who sent the message that shattered everything. She looked terrified. She said softly, "I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you months ago." My heart dropped. She stepped inside and handed me a small black USB drive. She said Ethan was not just cheating. He was recording things. Private things. Without telling us. Without telling anyone. He said he needed them for leverage. My knees buckled. I had to hold the wall. She whispered, "You are not the only one he hurt. And you are not the only one he used." My hands shook as I took the USB from her. She said she found it hidden in his desk at work and did not know who else to give it to. When she left, I sat on the floor, staring at the small drive in my hand. I knew opening it would change everything again. I knew whatever was inside would drag me back into darkness. But I also knew one thing. If I was going to finish this, truly finish it, I needed to know the whole truth. So I took a deep breath, plugged it in, and the first file made my blood run cold. Because it was not a video of him with another woman. It was a video of him talking, smiling, saying something that made my vision blur and my heartbeat stutter. Just wait. She will never see it coming. And that was the moment I realized my revenge was not over. It had barely begun. But that is a story for another night. Before you go, do one thing for yourself. Never ignore the truth your heart already knows. And if you want part 3, just tell me. I am ready to finish the story.